So, what are your thoughts on it? Can you pre?
Atlantis is one of those things where it's so prevalent across so many different cultures. It there has to be some truth to it.
Right. Is it an allegory or a metaphor? Do you think it was a actual place? Did this convince you?
It definitely made it more real. I mean,
Made it more.
the thing is it a city that was flooded and sunk? Is it a city? There's so many, like, all the different interpretations you've seen of Atlantis, they're all pretty consistent.
Right,
That's
right.
kinda the odd part.
And for those of the listeners who aren't on the same wavelength as us right now, it's a Joe Rogan experience, and they're talking about evidence that Atlantis was actually in the middle of the Sahara, and there are actually mounds and evidence to this day. So you want to go into that? Which one?
Top one.
One. But now, when you say Atlantis, most people are gonna go
I've been getting paid.
Africa. What the fuck, right?
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Jimmy, I watched your whole series on Atlanta all day today. I've been watching for hours. I've been watching impact videos,
He's
videos
got such a
about
dope set.
the
Definitely.
Atlanta structure, and so let's just get.
I think the dude who makes those signs is like famous in his own right.
Yeah.
Just off that.
Yeah, it's funny how he abandoned
So-
the interior spacecraft studio that he had. That shit was kinda whack.
He lasted like 2 episodes.
The Rishot structure. I was on your show a little over a year
The Rashad structure.
Mm.
Okay.
ago and shared some details about it. To people who aren't aware, there's a location in the Western Sahara Desert of Mauritania called the Rishot structure. It's also commonly referred to as the Eye of the Sahara.
Mm.
It is a site that most people have never seen or heard of before, which is truly peculiar because it's so spectacular. It's a site that astronauts typically use to reference from space. It is a geological feature that is said to be volcanic in nature.
Wow.
And what's so spectacular about this is that it just so happens to match more than a dozen striking similarities to what Plato had described as the lost ancient capital city of Atlantis.
I almost feel like we're not going to do your video justice by just talking about it because the video is so good and you go into so many details. By the end of it, my jaw was dropped. I was like, "Holy shit!" Like from what
You wanna pull up
had the
his
last time
video?
you were on the pod.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Have you?
No, I've never seen it either.
Let's do it.
He says what it just type in, like, Jimmy Corsetti. His channel's called, like, Bright Light or some shit.
Jimmy Corsetti. Bright Light. Okay, subscribe. There
Bright
we go.
Insight.
Bright Insight, Jimmy Corsetti. Give them boy a subscribe.
I think that's it.
Lost Roman map has Atlantis at the eye. Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, dog. This gets wild.
They didn't even cover this in the podcast, did they? The Roman map?
Well, he briefly just touched on it.
In this video,
Okay. I know he said, I don't remember that.
I'm going to share several astonishing new details that have come to light involving the topic of the lost ancient city of Atlantis and the Eye of the Sahara, which in just the last few years
Ooh, look at that similarity. I mean, I wish I could pause it without it going dark like that, but that is quite astounding.
has taken the internet by storm, as this unbelievably bizarre structure just so happens to match a dozen of the most significant similarities to Plato's description of the famed lost capital city of Atlantis. But perhaps the only thing stranger than these striking comparisons is the fact that the Rishot structure itself remains a genuine scientific mystery that continues to confound scientists to this day, as this one-of-a-kind geological feature is
Now, do scientists not know or do they not want to find
Yeah, that's the whole
Mm.
thing. What's his name? Graham Hancock.
Right.
Getting cock blocked everything he does. So, what's our feelings on Plato? Because Plato is referenced a lot.
My
Yeah.
feeling on Plato is the same how I feel about all the those philosophers. I feel like it's more stories that they just got from Egypt.
Yeah.
So I think even if we're talking about Plato, Plato was probably talking about something it was probably hearsay 1,000 years by the time it got to Plato.
Right.
So I think most of those Greek philosophers, I think, really got their knowledge from the mystery schools, and the mystery religions of Egypt. But they just want to hide that. They want to make it seem like the origin was the Renaissance, because that's the way you disconnect all of history from that. That's my opinion, anyway. I can't prove that definitively. But have you ever seen Magical Egypt, John Anthony West?
No.
Oh my God, that's gonna be an episode.
Documentary? Or
Yes.
what? Yeah.
The greatest Egypt documentary of all time.
Wow.
It will completely blow your mind, guaranteed. He is not paying us to say this. But I believe it's 8 hours long. So I'll have to go through and find, we can't do the whole thing, but I'll have to go through and find the craziest parts for you. It'll blow your mind. Like the way that the temples were set up, so that the whole grounds of the temple represented the human body. So they would have a chamber with the exact number of bones that was in your index finger. And then the next would have the exact number of bones in your middle. You know what I mean? Just crazy, as above, so below type architecture that you just go, this had to be the work of multiple masters.
Right.
In a lineage that must have been passed down for a very fucking long time. Because some of this shit we can't even reproduce today.
Right.
Like they were talking about the vases, 1,000 of an inch, but we'll get to that later because the viewers got to catch up. We're hyped.
It's like no other place found anywhere else on Earth, and has remained essentially hidden and largely unknown within the remote Western Sahara Desert of Mauritania, which only makes its distinctive nature that much more curious when you consider that so few people have still never seen or heard of it before, even including the most curious and inquisitive minds around.
But let me ask you this, Joe, real quick. When you saw my video, was that the very first time you had ever seen this thing before?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And that is the thing, because if nothing else, this extraordinarily unique anomaly should be included on
he
the
must
list
have
of
updated
natural
his
wonders
video.
of the world.
Yeah. Did you see the original?
No.
But nevertheless, when you see the new lines of evidence I'm going to share in this video, it will become exceedingly apparent that the fittingly named Eye of the Sahara is by far the most likely location for the lost capital city of Atlantis. And not only that, these new details will likely make those who previously thought that this site could not possibly be the location of Atlantis think again. So with all of that said, let me start off by sharing something particularly interesting. It is widely known that the ancient Romans were renowned for documenting everything, as the Caesars went to profound extent to accumulate knowledge and information from every location their vast empire ventured. So I have to admit that I was quite surprised to learn of someone by the name of Pomponius Mela, who was the Romans' first geographer dating back to some 2,000 years ago, and had created a sophisticated map of the known world at that time, titled The Habitable World of Pomponius Mela.
Yeah.
Only 2,000 years ago?
Yeah, that's so mind-boggling.
Doesn't that sound crazy? Doesn't that warp your mind a little bit?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what,
that's just 20 generations of people.
Damn.
If you're assuming they live 100 years, which they probably don't. But
let's have. Well, a generation is 25 years. So
yeah, I'm doing long summary.
So 80 generations.
Let's say 80 generations. Yep.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
It's really not when you think about it.
Something that up until recently I had never seen or heard of before. And real quick, let's not confuse this map with the ancient Greek historian Herodotus' map of the known world of 2,500 years ago, which I shared in one of my prior videos on this topic. A map that curiously listed Atlantis in the same location.
You know what's always got me about these maps?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Okay, like this map, like this body of water kind of looks like a fetus, right? How the hell did they?
Wow.
How did they? How did they?
So quick?
How did they draw this? Okay, so if I said to you, Josh, Go out to White Clay Creek. Go out to the Delaware River, the Potomac, and I want you to draw me a map when you get back. How accurate do you feel your map would be?
Oh, it'd be complete bullshit. Oh, bullshit.
Bush.
It's not good to cuss in the first 15 minutes.
No.
That's what the algorithm does not like that.
No, we really need to make money off of this.
Yeah.
or you guys could donate and we can curse all we want.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, like how mentally do you create these shapes and draw these maps out? And some of them are really accurate. How the hell did they do it?
Do you think it was their advanced knowledge of the stars and the skies? That had to have helped them out in some way, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like the overhead view. How
Yeah.
in the hell? It's insanity.
It's got to be, it can only be three things, I feel like. Either it was technology that is just lost to time because only stone remains. It was either some sort of human instinct that we've lost. Maybe. Like the way animals have that sixth sense.
Yeah.
They can tell when the storm's coming, they're the first to leave. Maybe we had some sort of thing like that made us more in tune with nature and navigation and the poles. And maybe this was easier for them. Or maybe they just developed a type of technology that was just a completely different vein than what we expect.
Right.
But I feel like those are the three, unless we're just going aliens told them.
Yeah, which
seems to be the basis for a lot of stuff. It's always, the aliens did it. And I feel like
it's kind of an easy answer, but at the same time, it's kind of the only answer for a lot of stuff. And there's so much coming out about, 2 days in a row, the headline in Fox News, we got mass shootings going on, and the headline on Fox News 2 days in a row was about UFOs.
Well, we always have mass shootings going on, don't we?
Damn.
But William Cooper said it. And behold the pale horse. He said they would ramp up. They did.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. But the fact that the aliens are all over the news makes me think they're not fucking real. They're not freaking real.
I feel
you know what I mean?
I feel you. I feel you. Spoilers. Spoilers.
The original source of this map is a bit of a mystery, as modern historians claim that Herodotus is not known to have ever created an actual map and have thus put its origins into question. So, putting that map aside, let's focus on this verifiably authentic 2,000-year-old map that has also annotated something very interesting in the Western Sahara Desert. First, notice that this map is oriented to the east in its original form, so let me go ahead and flip it to a north-south facing orientation so we can gain our bearing. And the features of
the fetus is back.
West Asia and North Africa become apparent. So let's now focus our attention to what is in the northwest region of the Sahara and observe what it annotates.
Isn't this where humanity was supposed to have begun?
Supposedly, yes.
So, and this literally looks like an embryonic cell.
Well, yeah.
Or was it Central Africa?
Well, I thought you meant. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I believe it was more Central Africa.
Okay.
But who freaking knows?
Right.
I think civilization has probably been restarted so many times. It's like, where did it start the last time?
Right.
Which more or less appears as Atlanteans, and again, in the same geographical region of the Rishat structure, which, like I've shared in my prior videos, just so happens to coincidentally match so many precise details that Plato described of Atlantis, including that the capital city was famously said to be made up of concentric circles, specifically 3 rings of water and 2 of land, which correctly matches the Rishat with water in it, which it certainly did, as I will prove to you with hard scientific data in just a moment. But the circular...
Yo, my man is dropping heat, yo. He said, I'm about to bring back that document. Oh my God, just the pictures alone, that's amazing.
Yeah.
They didn't get this deep in the Well, I didn't see these pictures in the podcast.
Ring
No.
City was also said to have an opening to the sea at the south, which not only matches the southerly
What?
opening of the
What?
Richat anomaly, but it even has existing evidence of a flow of salt water that is still visible to this
What?
day, which,
Wow.
and again, I will prove with hard scientific evidence shortly. But Atlantis was also said to be surrounded by a large rectangular plain, which
Look
is
at
another
this.
arguable similarity that extends for hundreds of miles on both sides of the Richat. But furthermore, Atlantis was said to be made of black, red, and white color stones, which
What?
is another specifically unique similarity that matches the geological nature of the Richat. And speaking of uniquely specific geological features, this next detail that I recently learned of blew me away, as there is English literature from the year 1851 on the preliminary treatise of resources of ancient Mauritania, which describes the country as having gold in considerable quantities and even specifically states, and I quote, that it is a well authenticated fact that previous to the discovery of America, Europe was supplied to a great extent with gold from Mauritania.
What?
Wow.
How have I never heard of this before? And get this, Mauritania was so
Oh
rich
my
in
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
they're
We
about to link it to my man.
spoke.
that several
We
What'd
spoke
you
this
say,
into existence. We brought him into the mainstream. I'm surprised
years
Joe had
ago,
never heard of
including-
him.
I don't remember that. He had never heard of him?
Yeah, he goes, what? He goes, oh, that's a cool name.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually. Yeah, he's the man.
by the name of Mansa Musa of the Mali Empire, which was a region of Africa that includes
Dog, why is
modern-day
this all just
Mauritania,
coming back
was
now?
said to
At
have
the
been
same time they're
richest man
releasing this
in
UFO
all of
shit.
human history.
It's because of Kyrie and Kanye, dog.
Wow.
They started it.
Damn.
So rich that he far exceeds the richest billionaires alive today.
Woo!
In fact, he owned gold mines which account for more than half of the world's supply of gold today. And by the way, something else you'll find interesting related to that 1851 treatise of ancient Mauritanian resources is that it describes ancient Mauritania of having an abundance of elephant ivory, which is a significant detail considering that Atlantis was said to have numerous elephants on the island.
What?
And so it's worth mentioning that there is also existing cave art depicting elephants in the area around the Richat as well, as I've shared previously. But I digress because another highly specific feature of Atlantis was that its center island was described as being geothermal in nature, in that it was said to have hot springs as well as springs of cold, fresh water, which is a reason why some have dismissed the dry, barren Richat structure as a possibility for Atlantis. So I imagine that many will find it very interesting to learn that there is a little-known study of the Richat structure dating back to the late 1990s, which describes the Richat as being a hydrothermal complex. Well, hot springs themselves are the very definition of a hydrothermal anomaly. And the fact that there is an actual scientific study corroborating this uniquely specific characteristic is significant in itself, because although the Richat may be a dry, barren place today, we must imagine what a different landscape this region was some 11 to 12,000 years ago at the time of Atlantis. And speaking of 11 to 12,000 years ago, this is the part in the video where things get crazier and will continue to do so through the rest of the video.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. Kevin. Is it Atlantis or not?
Yes.
See, I feel the same way. But all right, real quick. We're going to debate. You take the side of yes, I'm going to take the side of no. What's your best evidence?
I mean, the structure, the southerly water flow. I mean, that's not natural.
But I mean, how can we know if this is natural or not, if could be thousands of years old?
Because there's nothing else like it.
It's true.
And it happens to match the descriptions pretty perfectly.
Maybe the story of Atlantis was created after they found these ruins. Maybe they needed something to explain this ruin.
But they explained it like it was still bustling.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's part of the trick. Yeah, that's part of the trick. Actually, I don't really have a lot of
Yeah, it's pretty hard to
good
argue
debate points for this,
against.
'cause I took your
Bro,
side.
bro, does Mansa Musa hold the key to everything?
This is crazy.
I feel like the more we learn about him, the more we'll know about literally everything.
Well, first of all, when they just put up that map, for some reason, I need to brush up on my world atlas skills, even though I have them all hanging around me. I thought Mauritania was at near the south for some reason. So when it just showed that it was in Mansa Musa's empire, that's very interesting.
Well, they're like in modern day Egypt, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit to the west, but
They're close
because
to
they were,
Egypt.
yeah, definitely, and they were on the west coast, so he was saying that would make it a great port.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, Jesus Christ. But okay, he said it's about to get thick, so I'm gonna press play.
Because another key aspect is that Atlantis was described as having impressive mountains to the north. So, assuming that the cliffs of the Adra Highlands don't already meet that description, there is likewise a massive mountain chain to the north called the Atlas Mountains, which were aptly named after the first known king of Mauritania, who, get this, just so happens to share the same exact name of the very first king of Atlantis, who was also named Atlas. Gee, what a coincidence.
What?
But it only gets more bizarre.
A legendary king.
Not only was the city of Atlantis described as having mountains located to the north, but also said to have rivers. So get this. Recent scientific studies have confirmed an ancient river called the Tamanrasset that flowed from the Atlas Mountains and winded some 500 kilometers all the way to the Atlantic Ocean.
Did they blow themselves up and dry out the entire area?
That isn't fascinating enough.
Do you
Just
think?
look
Did
at
they
the
nuke
date
themselves?
when that river is known to have existed.
Possible.
Or get nuked?
11,700 years ago, precisely.
Definitely possible, because there are definitely places in the Middle East where they say there are unusually high levels of radiation that would be impossible without a nuclear event.
Wow.
That's what they say. Maybe we can look into that later. So I'm not just talking off the dome, but I've definitely seen more than one, news source or scientific source giving that evidence. But of course, I'm not there to verify it.
Within the time frame of when Atlantis was said to have been destroyed. Make no mistake, the entire region of the Sahara looked completely different at that time compared to what we see today. And the next few details that I'm going to share may very well blow your mind. Because, like I've shared in multiple prior videos, there is tremendous evidence of vast water erosion throughout the Sahara Desert, which is so extreme.
Something about this guy, he just doesn't seem like he's bullshitting.
Yeah, he seems like a young Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Light imagery. Make no mistake, this is not wind erosion and has been confirmed to be catastrophic levels of water erosion by subject matter experts, including even the respected Randall Carlson himself. And the overwhelmingly...
He said they're respected.
They're respected, right?
He's automatically ostracized.
Yeah, he'll never get funded.
That rip right through the Richat structure all the way to the Atlantic Ocean are evident for all who have eyes to see. And upon further study, it looks as if an unimaginably massive force of water had blasted its way from the Mediterranean Sea through North Africa, creating a path that just so happens to be at all the lowest elevational points through the Sahara, just as water would naturally direct itself. And this is the part where things get really nuts, because there is a little known yet unbelievably fascinating science.
Wait, hold on, bro. I'm like,
just as water would naturally direct itself. And
bro, this dude is feeling himself.
Absolutely.
He knows he's dropping some heat.
Absolutely.
He's like, calm down. Calm down, kids. I got this. I got this. I like it. I like
Definitely like a 5th grade science teacher vibe.
And this is the part
he's like, you want to see how magnets work?
Because there is a little known yet unbelievably fascinating scientific study that revealed a gigantic under-ocean seafloor slide off the coast of Mauritania and is referred to as the Mauritanian Slide, and dates back to approximately 11,000 years ago, give or take, and was, get this, believed to have been created by a tsunami. A tsunami
Oh.
that, given the very nature of its shape,
What?
would have originated from the east, as you can see from the debris field's widest point, and pushed westward to where the debris field eventually becomes more narrow. But not only that,
What
this
could cause a
massive
tsunami?
seafloor slide is located directly in front of the Richat.
What did you say?
What could cause a tsunami?
Ooh. Earthquakes, geoengineering, Godzilla.
Bomb.
Oh, bomb. I'm with you. Shit. Maybe it was
That's a tough area for a naturally occurring tsunami.
yeah.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all.
Yeah, I've never heard of a tsunami on the
That's where hurricanes form.
form. That's crazy.
Path, as you can see from the reference locations on the study when compared to the respective locations on planet Earth. And when I say that this seafloor slide is massive, observe the legend in the lower right. From my own estimation, it is 300 kilometers, or nearly 200 miles wide from east to west, and nearly 150 kilometers, or 100 miles wide, when measured from north to south. To put that east-west measurement into perspective, the debris field generated by this tsunami is more than 25% wider than the maximum width of Florida's peninsula.
What?
Nah, he's
Another
snapping right
comparison
now.
is that it's virtually the same distance from Washington, D.C.
Nah,
to
he's
New York
snapping,
City.
dog. He's
So the
snapping,
big question
dog.
becomes,
What?
what on earth
What?
happened to send a
What?
biblical-sized tsunami, so to speak, through North
Wait,
Africa
pause
in
it.
the
Pause it.
approximate
Pause
Oh
it.
my
Pause it.
God.
How crazy is it that he just put us both on the map, bro? Was that some
Oh my god.
Yo, what? What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that?
I gotta. Okay, I gotta. This is starting to blow my mind. Hold on.
What if
I gotta
what if hurricanes are just King Atlas's revenge and he's trying to destroy the West,
fucking-
bro?
What is this, Universal Studios?
Bro, this slide is the reason hurricanes form over there, and he's literally,
I feel
bro,
it.
in the movie The Mummy, he was the storm, bro. That's all I'm saying. We got this guy beat. We've taken it to the next level.
Oh my god.
This is 6th grade science now.
Woo, woo. Okay. Wow. I'm convinced.
Bro, Atlantis is still at war with us.
It's fucking this up. All right, wait, I'm gonna play this again.
To put that east-west measurement into perspective, the debris field generated by this tsunami is more than 25% wider than the maximum width of Florida's peninsula. Another comparison is that it's virtually the same distance from Washington, D.C. to New York City.
Okay, so
So the big
this
question
second
becomes,
comparison
what on
wasn't even
earth-
necessary. It wasn't even necessary at all. He's just like,
Not at all.
I didn't forget about you, Josh. Yeah, that's creepy.
This was meant to be. It like went right through my house.
happened to send a biblical-sized tsunami, so to speak, through North Africa in the approximate neighborhood of 11,000 years ago. And let's
Damn.
be real, if the Richat structure is indeed the actual location for the lost city, the remains of it would be found in the area of this debris field, which, by the way, is stacked layer of debris sediment and is at least
All right, pause this.
1,000 meters.
Look up, where do hurricanes form? As if it's off the
Good.
coast of this shit. I'm snapping.
It should be, right? Okay. We're typing it in now. I misspelled it, but hurricanes form over the ocean.
Can we see the
Off
map?
the beginning as a tropical wave, a low pressure area that moves through the moisture rich tropics, possibly enhancing shower and thunderstorm activity. Let me look at some maps. Yup. That's where they come from.
It's not quite showing it. Okay, there you go. The map with the blue back. Yes, directly off the coast.
Yup.
Yes. Oh,
That's exactly where it's
shit.
coming from.
Okay, so this now
Woo!
this is even more confusing. Okay. So the poles shift every what? 10,000. When was the last pole shift?
Oof,
Cuz
when was
how
the
the
last bullshit?
cuz you're talking about a tsunami that's literally going against the grain.
Do we even know this?
Bro, we're on to something. Damn, 780.
780,000 years ago.
That does what?
I feel that just
All right, I thought we were on
he
to
said we're
something.
onto something. What?
We're still on to something, but we're
Those are the breaks.
wow.
What the fuck? That is
Okay.
crazy.
Huh.
That is crazy.
Well, okay. How about a current map? See a map of the currents?
Map of ocean currents coming up. No. Let's see what we got here. Oh no. That's
Yeah.
in kaiju language.
Kaiju.
We can't do that.
Tatabayo.
Oh. Okay, ocean currents.
There you go.
Let's
Boom. Look at this. You're telling me that a fuck all tsunami. Oh, what is this? What little current is that?
What's Canary? Which one are you looking at?
The one headed towards the coast of Africa. I mean,
The Atlantic Drift? Or the Benguela?
what is it? The equatorial courier? What does it say? The equatorial counter?
Oh, counter.
Oh, so there is a counter current. It's not
Oh,
not
wow.
quite where we need it to be for the tsunami, but
Oh, wow. So if you're trying to catch the North Equatorial or the South Equatorial, you're trying to catch those both to like Cuba, and you get in between them, you're fucked.
yeah, that's wild. All right,
Wow.
so where you don't have a mouse pointer, do you?
Mauritania's right here. It would be right by the Canary.
Right. Yeah, so
Canary.
it's too far. How the fuck did they I'm telling you, it can't be natural. All right, let's see if we're going to have to look into
Probably.
a theory.
It probably wasn't. It could have been some sort of war. But I guess what? What did the legend say?
Is there
Plato's Atlantis.
is there any evidence of the tsunami?
Excuse me, sir?
The tsunami from 11,000 years ago? Is there any other
Mega tsunami.
smashed into Israel 10,000 years ago? Is that the one?
Israel. Where do you see that?
That's what I came up on. No, not 73,000. He said 11,000 years ago. A total of 3 tidal waves classified as a tsunami. Oh, wow. This is South Africa, though. Wait, Israel's not in South. You see the top one? Israel? Yeah, yeah, smashed into Israel. This has to be the tsunami he's talking about.
Wait. Let me get a map of Israel.
And you can see the current and the flow of money from us to there.
Uh-oh.
You can actually watch your taxpayer dollars
Leaving in a tsunami.
Israel's mad small, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that can't be it either.
I'm like, what? That's what I'm thinking. That doesn't make sense to me.
Bro. We're about to
Yeah, 'cause
undo
that's
his
all the way
whole
on the other
research.
side.
We're about to go viral.
Well, I mean, maybe, actually. Maybe. Hold on.
I mean, tsunamis are pretty local events.
No, I feel you. I mean, unless it wasn't natural, like we said.
Yeah. And I mean, water just never came back.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes
Yeah,
no
that's
sense.
yeah. But when you look at the currents, you could have a natural tsunami over there for sure. But I just don't see how in the hell it does not make any sense.
Hmm.
Because look, the water empties into there, no problem. But
Right.
and it's trapped, it's landlocked.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Bro, that makes no sense. And outside of that Israel thing, I can't find any other mention of a tsunami.
That's an African tsunami.
Or West African, or what is it today?
West African.
Tsunami 11,000 years ago.
Yeah, no.
The biggest mega tsunami in history, what's that? That's the 73,000 one?
Yeah, that's the 73,000. Rising from the Atlantic Ocean, hundreds of miles off the coast of West Africa, there's a volcano with a 73,000-year-old scar swiped across its face. This is the mark of an ancient catastrophe etched into the rock when a huge chunk of the volcano's eastern flank rushed all at once into the sea.
Where's the picture taken, does it say?
Geologists believe an ancient mega tsunami carried giant boulders half a mile inland on the island of Santiago.
Okay, where the fuck's Santiago?
I'm not sure.
Bro, we're knee deep in this shit. Somebody's about to knock on your door.
But, I mean, that's assuming that all the dating is correct.
Right.
You know?
So, where's Santiago?
I'm not sure.
That was actually my name in Spanish class.
Island of Santiago. Cape Verde.
It's funny how all these things sound familiar, but
Right? And I'm like, where is it? Ooh, that's not helping me. Oh, wow.
oh,
wow.
damn.
Oh, wow.
Bro, they said the biggest tsunami ever literally took out the Atlanteans. Wow.
Bro.
All right, back to you.
We just cracked the code. We just cracked the code, Kevin. I don't care what I know he did a lot of research. Whatever. We pulled up these images, though. You feel me? Yo, this dude owes us money. Yo, we're sitting here. Yo.
The island of Santiago. It all came down to a small island of Santiago.
Oh, shit.
All right, let's see what else he's spewing.
Wait, it said hold on. It says the Cape Verde Islands are located just a few hundred kilometers to the west coast of Africa in the North Atlantic Ocean. Just a few hundred kilometers. Jesus. Okay.
Wow.
Wait, where'd this fool go?
Okay.
Yeah, we just killed it for the man.
Or more than a mile deep. This entire area needs to be scanned with LiDAR and even drilled for examination. Now, let me keep going because this seafloor slide is not the only piece of evidence that suggests that the ocean bulldozed its way through the Sahara at the time of Atlantis, as the next detail I'm going to share is extremely significant. And I must first preface it by sharing a highly important detail that I've mentioned in prior videos, which is that the last time the Sahara was said to be under the ocean was at the time of the Trans-Saharan Seaway, which is estimated to have existed some 56 to 66 million years ago.
Wait, what? Oh, million years ago. Oh, never mind.
Essentially all the way back to the time of the dinosaurs. And you can distinguish the regions of the Sahara where this seaway is known to have once flowed, but here's the thing. You can also clearly observe that this seaway is not annotated to have went west over the Rishat. Rather, it went south, which is why I suggest that something else happened, something separate and far more recently that has somehow eluded scientists and researchers. And here is the smoking gun evidence which proves it. Emikusi is the Sahara's largest volcano, reaching a height of 11,300 feet or more than 3,400 meters, and is dated to be 2 million years old. And the last known lava flow occurred at the south end of Emikusi's caldera in the neighborhood of 12,000 years ago, give or take. And this is the part that is unbelievably significant, because notice how the volcano is positioned directly along the clear path of catastrophic water erosion, just as we see as the Rishat. You can literally see the line of the path that the water took, and which clearly eroded and erased portions of that 12,000-year-old lava flow, which means that the flooding would have had to have happened after that volcanic activity. Whether it be 12,000 years ago or 2 million years ago at the birth of this volcano, this is hard evidence that the ocean blasted its way through the Sahara far more recently than 56 to 66 million years ago that's been claimed. And the evidence does not stop there, because this white blemish within Emikusi's caldera at 11,000 plus feet in elevation is not snow, it's salt. Salt that is said to be the remains of an ancient
Would
lake
you ever
that
go out to
disappeared
these
just
places?
thousands of years ago. And not
You said what?
Would you ever go out to these places?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But I hear they're very hostile.
Yeah.
So, is it worth losing your life? Maybe.
only that, small aquatic life, including gastropods, which consist of snails, slugs, limpets, and other small little creatures, have been found within the caldera and have been radiocarbon dated to some 14 to 15,000 years ago. How did they get there, and where did that salt come from? Because make no mistake, this salt water would obviously had to have come after this volcano's eruption, certainly not before. So let me now take you back to the Rishat structure so I can share one of the most significant details of this video, as it will prove that seawater was indeed inside the Rishat at the exact time of Atlantis. Just as I've shared in other videos, all these white blemishes are indeed salt. In fact, the entire region around the Rishat in Mauritania itself is known for vast amounts of salt that are mined and exported to this day. And when you consider that all the areas in and around the Rishat with these concentrations of salt also happen to be in the areas of the lowest elevation, it seems reasonable to conclude that seawater had once settled and evaporated here. And this next part is the smoking gun evidence, as I have found another.
All right, pause here. He's sounding more and more like a marketer, but okay. He's got a vested interest in this.
Now I do. I'm about to start telling people, you don't know the truth.
You don't know the smoking gun of Atlantis. Here's the real smoking gun.
We figured it out. It all came down to Cape Verde. What you know about that? All right, what is he going to say? You've never seen this, right?
No, this is fucking wild.
Yeah. Joe Rogan was right. They didn't do it justice.
No.
At all.
At all.
Here's how aquatic life, including mollusks, which, by the way, examples of mollusks include oysters, clams, mussels, squid, and even octopus, existed in the brackish waters within the Rishat and have dates ranging from 15,000 to 7,700 years ago, which proves that the Rishat was consumed with water at the very time when Atlantis was said to have been destroyed 11,600 years ago. Let that sink in for a moment, as the implications are massive. And let me just say, if everything I've shared so far isn't compelling,
Nah, dog. He's about to say, and there's more.
Yeah, I'm like, the video's only half over.
We'll double your order if you call right now.
Well, the next 24 minutes and shipping is free.
enough, wait to
Okay, but he's saying there are saltwater animals and fossils found in the eye of the Sahara, which is believed to be Atlantis. He said octopus. That's crazy to me. They got no business out there. That's a smoking gun to me if I ever.
What he's really saying is there's an awful lot of salty archaeologists.
Look at his face. He's loving it too.
He is.
Take that.
My life has meaning now.
So this is my best.
But if you ever see this video, guy, respect.
Yeah, you know, we love you.
Respect.
Yeah.
to hear these next several arguments. First, consider that the story of Atlantis actually originates from the ancient Egyptians, who claimed that they were colonists and the remaining survivors of a civilization that was destroyed in a cataclysm.
Dang, I think we started the conversation with that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you asked me what I thought of Plato's version of the story. I was like, I think he just got it all from Egypt.
Right.
It's probably secondhand, thirdhand knowledge at that point.
And this is where the legend of Atlantis comes from, which is something that most people are not aware of. And so when you consider this next remarkable fact that was only discovered not long ago, is that the Sahara was a lush green tropical landscape at the time of Atlantis. And considering that Atlantis was said to be abundant in exotic fruits and vegetation and had lush hanging gardens, when you piece together the fact that the Sahara was a known lush tropical environment at that time, only further adds to these possible similarities. And listen to this. The Green Sahara existed up until approximately 5,000 years ago when it shifted to the barren desert we know it for today. However, some estimates state that this transition may have happened as recently as 4,500 years ago, which is a curious time frame as it precisely coincides with the estimated date for when the pyramids of Giza were constructed, some 4,500 years ago. And that brings me to another curious observation, which is that the notable Egyptian Eye of Horus is uncannily similar to the Sahara when observed from.
Not the Eye of Horus, bro.
Oh,
he is out of control right now.
He's out of control. He's tripping. Oh, no, this is the first thing he might have lost me in. This is the first thing.
Yeah, he brought this in at the right time.
Altitude.
He gave you this. See, this
any-
nah, time out. This is the blueprint of misinformation. Well, I'm gonna drop the most snapping, undeniable facts,
I feel you.
and then I'm gonna and he did it right after the and there's more.
Right. You called it.
Damn, dog.
You called it.
Ah.
He should have just left it be. I feel like he would have discredited himself.
Ah. Shit.
Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay. Yeah, he's still got a lot to go.
We'll consider this comparison to be a stretch. However,
Yo, what's his name? Yo.
Yo, okay, the next thing that comes out of his mouth is either gonna kill us or kill us. It just depends which way.
it certainly has a thought-provoking resemblance, does it not?
Okay.
That didn't either.
Oh.
But that aside, and although the Sahara Desert initially seems like the least likely place that you'd find the lost city of Atlantis, it actually makes a lot of sense when you piece together other key details. For example, Atlantis was said to be busy all day and all night, rich in trade, and with people speaking languages from all over. So ask yourself, does it really make sense to suggest that a city so vastly consisting of travel and trade would be located in the middle of a vast, dangerous ocean? I mean, would other less advanced seafaring civilizations venture out to the middle of the ocean to hit up a local market to trade for ripe fruit, spices, and vegetables? Or is it far more likely that based on all the new scientific data that we have, that the region of North Africa, which we now know was connected by a diverse, massive network of rivers, which of course are conducive for travel, Wouldn't that be more feasible? I mean, after all, new studies involving lost human civilizations.
That
of the
study
same
was from
era have
2012 that
concluded
he
exactly
conveniently
that.
had that red line through.
You said what?
That look, rewind it a little bit to like 10 seconds. That study, yeah, that's 2012, ain't it?
2013. Yep.
September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
I feel like he put his little line through that to make it seem like it was more recent, but
I feel you. Maybe he's just saying this is old news. Maybe he's like, they've been knew this shit.
yeah.
But I feel you.
What is meant by a paleo river?
I think they just mean Paleolithic.
Like
Like
the
the time
era?
period.
Oh, okay.
I mean, let's look it up. Ooh, okay. So this dude is starting to lose you?
No, but but he's telling me that I need to read between the lines.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
It's just,
Well, that's what you got to watch out for when those guys, because like you said, a lot of guys come through with 2 truths and a lie. And that's probably the easiest way to catch people.
100%.
And that's the same as hypnosis too. You get somebody to comply twice. Like, hey, what's your name? Kevin. Oh, you having a nice day? Yeah. Oh, do you have the time? Yeah, I'll give you the time. Now you're already 3 commands deep into compliance.
And you already got their watch.
And you already got their watch. You know, the 4th one is even easier.
Yeah. All right, let me
It says paleo rivers. Plural of paleo river. What a trash definition.
I hate that shit. Oh god.
Yes, is the remnant of an inactive river or stream channel that has been, I think it's just a river fossil.
A river fossil. That's some Pokemon shit. Okay. All right, hold on. I gotta pause right here.
Okay.
And then hold on.